students. My name is Kiria Karina Alfaro Villarreal, and I'm going to be your English teacher in today's class. You can call me Mrs. Alfaro. I don't mind. Well, before we begin the class, I have just one question for you. How are you doing in this quarantine? I hope you are good, or maybe you can tell me, okay, or some of you are so-so. Well, I hope that you and all your family are just fine as I am. Let's begin. Do you see this guy? He is COVID. If you want to avoid it, or you just want to keep in touch with it, let me give you some tips that you should follow. While you are at home, always try to eat healthy food, such as vegetables, fruits, meat, and seafood. Avoid, no way, don't eat too much junk food, like pizza. When you leave home, always try to keep healthy habits, like keep your distance, always use your mask, as just I did when I came here and left home. Clean constantly your hands. When you come back home, as I'm going to do, I'm going to take off my clothes and I'm going to take a shower. This is very important and is what you are going to do since today. Try always to keep your mind positive and very active. But what you can do, you can read, you can participate in your classes, especially in the English class. Also, if you have pets, spend time with them. It's going to be good for you and for them. Play video games and spend time with your family, playing also board games. Now, let's get into our subject. We have class number 1, greetings. Teacher, maybe you have a question. Greetings? I always have learned how to greet. Teacher, I know how to say hello, or I know how to say bye. Yes, you know. But let me tell you that there are many different ways to greet or say hello. Also, how you feel and not is the fine, thank you, and you. I'll show you. Ways to say hello and greet. You can say, what's new? How is it going? Hi there. Howdy. Especially when you are with your friends. You say, hey, howdy. Hey, what's up? You are used to it. We also have an application in our cell phone. You can say to your friends, hey, what's up? Is, hey, how are you? How are you feeling today? And the person or you can answer, not only I'm fine, you can say, I'm good, I'm cool, I'm relaxed, I'm chill, I'm happy as your teacher, I'm sad, I'm hungry, teacher, I'm hungry, or I'm tired. How about you? Is the way you are going to ask another friend, not to say only and you. How about you? And your friend is going to reply also. I'm good, cool, relaxed, chill, happy, sad, hungry, or tired. When you are going to leave, you say bye. See ya is what we say in the formal way, see you. See you soon, when you're going to meet the person next week, in a few days. See you later, this way. When you are going to see again the person, maybe when you are at school, you say to your friend that is in another classroom, okay, see you later. if you met the person in the recess, you said, see you later. Or to your teacher, maybe when you leave class, or the teacher leaves the class, says, see you later, because maybe you are going to meet the person during the school day. Take care. It's nice to say this to another person. Take care means that I hope you are going to be fine. Nice to see you. It's always appropriate to say it's nice to see you. It means that you are happy to see that person. You are enjoyed that you met that person that day. Well, now that we practice, you saw how to greet, the different ways to say hello and say bye, I want you to watch these videos, how the English native speakers use the words in their daily conversations. Let's watch the first video.
Hi, are you Anna?
Yes. Hi there. Are you Pete?
I am Pete.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, as you could see in the video, she says, yes, hi there. Hi there is the expression that I use to say hi. She said, I am Anna, and he said, nice to meet you, right? Now let's watch the second video.
I have to go now.
Oh,
Remember to call Marcia at work. Tell her you're here.
right. Thanks, Pete. Nice to meet you.
You too. Bye.
As you saw in the conversation, she said, nice to meet you. It's always appropriate that you meet a person for the first time, you say, nice to meet you, okay? And she said, bye. I'm going to show you another video that is going to explain. It's called slangs. Slangs are words that we don't learn them at school. It's used in the street language for native speakers. They use words that you are never going to listen to your teacher maybe using in the classroom because it's not appropriate for teachers or it's not adequate for teachers to teach you that at school. You are going to listen to it when you are, for example, watching a movie, listening to music, when you are with friends, and in movies especially, and you can say, oh, teacher, I couldn't get it. I don't understand. I couldn't understand anything that the person says. Why? Because the person used slangs that are these words that are used only for native speakers in street language, in their daily communication, as we also have those slangs in Spanish. Okay, so I want you to check this video, how the word cool, that is an expression that I use at the beginning to express how you feel, is used also in the daily life, maybe in movies, in conversations. Cool not only means temperature, that I'm fresh. It also means many different things depending on the way you use it. So watch this video.
Today, I am going to blow your mind with some popular American slang. Boom! So in today's lesson, I'm going to talk to you about some popular and common slang that Americans regularly use. And remember, learning slang, it's mostly important for your listening comprehension. I've had many English learners tell me, like, you know, in the classroom, I understand everything. But when I go outside in the streets, or if I'm watching a movie, it's really hard to understand. And that's because people use it informally, casually, in colloquial speech. If you're an English learner, it's not really necessary that you go out and use these words, but it is good for your listening comprehension. So let's talk about some common American slang that Americans love to use, especially me. The first one that I want to talk to you about is cool. And no, I'm not talking about the temperature. I'm talking about something or someone that you like. If something or someone is cool, it means that you are impressed by this thing or you are impressed by this person.
Cool.
So cool, so cool, so cool!
Very cool guy.
So cool.
She's the coolest girl in school.
So cool.
You're so cool.
Very cool, girlfriend.
The coolest.
Now, if you are really impressed, then you could say that something is awesome. I use this all the time if I want to express that this is something that I really like, I really enjoy, I'm really impressed with it. I say that it's awesome.
Awesome!
Awesome. That's awesome.
That was so awesome!
She thinks you're awesome.
Well, I mean, the guy, he's awesome.
All right, I'm awesome at charades.
For example, if you guys hit that like button, that would be awesome. You guys, you'd be so cool. Next is the word babe. Now, this is used to refer to a person's loved one, one's girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, and you say babe instead of saying their name. I think it's a little more common that men use it to refer to their girlfriend or their wife, but it is a gender-neutral word. Women do use it when referring to a man as well.
Babe, you want some of this coffee? Babe.
Hey, babe.
Hey.
Where's my popcorn, babe?
What? Who's working for you, babe?
Searching for you, babe.
Be aware, don't just say this to anyone, not to an acquaintance, not to just a friend or a colleague, because it can be very offensive and they might take it the wrong way. Why are you calling them babe? Are you trying to be romantic with them? What's going on? Just don't do it. Now, younger people might not use babe as often. It's a little bit of an older slang term. Instead, they may use bae. And this is an acronym that is short for before anyone else. It's also a word that can refer to your boyfriend or girlfriend, your loved one, someone that you have a romantic relationship with is your bae.
This is like a dress rehearsal, babe. Okay. What's up, babe? How's it hanging?
Next is a slang word that I like to use, and maybe I use it a little too much, and that is dude. And this just refers to a younger man, a guy, because if somebody says, it's a dude, then they're talking about, well, it's a guy, it's a man. Now, I found a lot of fascinating information about this slang word because it's been around for a long time. And according to the Urban Dictionary, over 100 years ago, the word used to mean a person that was very snobbish and stuck up. Then the meaning changed and it referred to a person that moved out west into the countryside, and this person just didn't know what the hell they were doing. And the meaning of the word has changed again because today it just refers to a younger man, a guy, a dude.
Dude, where's my car? Where's your car, dude? Dude, where's my car?
It takes 3 days to deliver pizza.
Hey, dude, how are you?
Probably with a bunch of dudes, like sweating.
Dude, what's the rush? There's a dude dressed like a superhero. They're fighting a bunch of guys.
Next, we have ripped. Most of us would just think of the verb to tear something, but that's not what we're talking about. Instead, we're talking about somebody that is very strong, very muscular. Muscles are really well defined. You would say that person is ripped. For example, I think I'm pretty ripped. Here's a picture of me at the gym. Muscles, very well defined, very strong, ripped.
Damn. He's ripped.
I'm not kidding you, dude. You got ripped. Bro, you are ready for football.
This slang word also has another meaning, which is to be intoxicated. If somebody is ripped, then maybe they've been drinking a lot or maybe smoking a little too much. We could say that this person is ripped. If you're talking about somebody who's intoxicated, ripped is not the most common way that somebody would refer to them. Instead, the slang word that they would probably use is this one right here, which is wasted. So if somebody is very, very, very intoxicated, I'm sure you've probably seen somebody who fits this description. If somebody's intoxicated, they've been drinking way too much, then they're wasted.
We're wasted. You're always wasted.
Come on, Chris. You're wasted. You're absolutely wasted.
Man, it was so awesome. Like so wasted, man.
She already wasted?
Celebrating.
People say stupid things when they're wasted.
Another popular slang word is lit. And no, this is not the past tense of light. It used to mean somebody who was intoxicated. However, that meaning is outdated. People don't use it anymore. Nowadays, younger people use lit as an adjective to talk about something that is really awesome, really exciting, or maybe even a person that is really cool. So you could say that movie is lit, or my best friend, she's lit. Interactive English, it's lit. I don't really use this word, so I feel a little strange saying it because I think I'm a little too old to say it. It's mostly younger people nowadays.
It's gonna be super creepy and scary. That's why it's gonna be lit.
How you feeling? Lit! So lit up in here.
And it's gonna be lit.
Another slang word that I really like is antsy. And this is an adjective to refer to somebody who is impatient, somebody that just cannot wait any longer. They're ready to do something else. They don't want to sit still anymore. That person is antsy.
It seems like you're, a little antsy. God knows I'm antsy.
It's Prince Naveen! The shy and retiring brat to be is getting antsy!
Look, I know you're antsy. We all are, but you see, things they're about to pick up.
Another popular slang word, and one that is not so good, is dis. This is short for disrespect, and it means to disrespect someone. So it can be either a verb, to diss someone, or it could be used as a noun, a diss. But it means to disrespect someone in some way. You say something mean or nasty, and you diss someone. We should all be respectful. You shouldn't diss anybody. It's not nice. It's unnecessary.
Hey! Don't be dissing me!
He dissed you bad, G!
Are you two dissing Troy?
What? Are you dissing me?
Dissing. I don't know what that means. Does that make any sense to you?
Next is bromance. And this is just a cute amalgamation of the words bro and romance. And it means love or affection shown between two heterosexual men. So most guys out there, they may be involved in a bromance, or maybe they were involved in a bromance at one point or another, but it's when guys, it's nothing sexual, and maybe you're gushing over this other person and maybe showing a little too much affection and expressing it, and other people see it and they could think, oh, okay, these guys have a bromance going on.
How long's this little bromance been going on?
I guess I got caught up in the bromance.
Start quite the bromance.
The next slang word, which you might hear in TV or movies, is gaydar. This is another amalgamation between two words, and those words are gay and radar. And gaydar is just the ability to tell whether or not somebody is a homosexual. And it's not really used in a derogatory sense at all. It's mostly you'd hear it in conversation if you're talking about some other person and you're trying to think, well, maybe this person's gay, maybe they're not gay. And you talk about that person's ability to tell, and you mention somebody's gaydar.
My gaydar is never wrong, and it is pinging.
You gotta be kidding. I'm here to let you know your gaydar is broken.
Mac has the most finely tuned gaydar in the tri-state area.
If you are in school or when you were in school, I'm sure you came across this word, and that is cram. So cram is used as a verb. To cram is to try and learn a large amount of information in a very, very, very short period of time. So things that you can cram for an exam, you could cram for a test, cram for a quiz. We've all been there. I think we've all done it. We didn't study, and we waited until the night before, and we have to cram.
Thanks, Mom. Sorry, I'm cramming for a Spanish exam.
Which means I get to cram tomorrow for this test on Monday.
No, just try and get ready for exams. I always have to start cramming before everybody else.
I made them myself. I've been cramming all night.
I hope some of these words were new for you, and that the next time you are watching a movie or listening to music, you could try to listen for some of these, because again, it's good for your listening comprehension. Now I want to hear from all of you guys. So in the comments, I want you to share with us any slang that you know, that you are familiar with. And this could be American slang, it could be British slang, Australian slang. Just write the word, tell us what it means. It's great to be able to expand our list and learn more. Even if you don't know of any slang, we still want to hear from you. Write to us, tell us something that you think is awesome. We just want to hear from you guys.
Now, I want you to watch and learn how we use these words in a sentence or in a phrase to ask another person. We have, hey, hey, Elizabeth, or hey, Marcos, hey, Anna. What's up? Remember the pronunciation, you can say what's up. It's faster. You can say what's up, what's up, depending on how excited or happy you are of watching the other person. What's up, Mark? Or what's up, Anna? Also, you can use your gesture because this is informal. This you use it with your friends. So you say, hey, what's up? How are you? Or how are ya? If you want to make it shorter. How are you, Clara? Or how are you, John? How are you, Luis? How have you been? How have you been means what have you been doing, or how are you? Studying hard, as you are going to be studying hard at home, of course. How are you doing today? I'm excellent. Oh no, I feel tired. I am hungry. Today, in the moment. How are you doing today? When you see the person, how are you doing today? How is it going, Nancy? Working hard. You are going to say studying hard or studying English very hard. What are you up to? Means what are you doing? What are you up to? I'm just cooking. No, I'm just watching TV. Or really doing nothing. What are you up to? You are doing something suspicious. What are you up to? How are you? I'm good. How do you feel today? It's also another word to say, how are you today? How do you feel today? Great. I'm happy. I'm cool. I'm relaxed. I'm fine. How is your life during quarantine? Now this is a good question. You have to ask another person. How are you doing in quarantine? The person is going to say, well, so far so good. Oh, well, I'm okay. Maybe, oh, I'm bored. I don't like to be at home. But you have to be at home. So you can do many things to the person. You can say, you can study, watch TV, play video game. So now this is a question we're going to use. How is your life during quarantine? Is what I'm going to ask you. And you are going to tell me, teacher, I don't like to be at home, but I'm studying, but I like to play. I like to sleep. So now you can sleep a lot too. How do you feel? Not bad. I'm okay. How is your family? Pretty good. Well, now we are going to review. Let's talk. In this case, I have to pretend that you are going to answer to me. I know that's not going to happen, but I'm sure that you are going to practice at home, okay? Let's talk. If someone asks you, how are you? You can answer, not bad, bad, can't complain. What will you answer if someone asks you, how are you? Not bad, bad, can't complain. Yes, very good. You are going to say, not bad, That's an appropriate answer for the question. Let's move. If someone asks you, how are things? You can reply, thanks, and you? Very fine, thanks, and you? Or cool? I repeat, think about it. If someone asks, how are things? You can reply, thanks, and you? Very fine, thanks, and you? Or cool? What do you think? Yes, that's the correct answer. You are going to say cool. When we leave, we say leave means that you are going to say you are going to leave. You are going to see the person another day. When we leave, we say hello, hi, or bye. I repeat, when we leave, we say hello, hi, or bye. What's your answer? Correct. We say bye. That's the correct answer. When we arrive, now this is the opposite. Arrive means you are getting into the place. When we arrive, we say hi, goodbye, or see you, or see ya, depending on how you want to say it. I repeat, when we arrive, we say hi, goodbye, or see you. What do you think? Excellent job. We say hi. That's the correct answer. When someone asks you, how about the social distancing? Social distancing means that when you are out of your house, outside, you have to keep a distance from the other person. You can say, when someone asks you, how about the social distancing? You can say, remember that we talked about the social distancing is when you go out and you keep a space between you and the other person. You leave a space. That is the social distancing. You can say, what can you answer to that question? What do you think about that? Is the question. When someone asks you, how about the social distancing? Well, I'm not going to give you the answer. That's your homework. You are going to practice and find answers, possible answers to those questions. What do you think about social distancing? You agree, disagree, you like, you don't like, you're okay, you don't feel okay, you feel comfortable or not? Then that's going to be your homework. Also, you have another homework to do. You are going to practice how to say hello in different ways with your friends and your family. Remember, you can say, hi there, or how is it going, or hey, what's up, right? Or you can also practice when you leave. When you're going to bed, you can say, bye, goodbye, see ya, see you later, see you tomorrow, see you soon. Also, remember that you can practice using the phrases that you know. Good morning, mom. Good morning, dad. Good morning, brother or sister. Good afternoon. And good evening if it is after 6 p.m. and good night when you are going to leave. I'm going to show you. You have this page that you can use, this channel, supporting your learners. Join our channel. In this channel, you can upload your videos, your practice, and we are going to watch them. When you upload your videos, you can also be presented in this channel here in the English class. You go to your cell phone and you download from Play Store Telegram, right? That's the channel you are going to look for, Telegram. In Telegram, then you are going to look for the channel Supporting Young Learners. Supporting Young Learners. In this channel, you are going to upload the videos, and also you are going to find the links of the videos I showed you here, and also the practice that we did here today. If you can scan or take a picture with your cell phone to this code, also you can go immediately to the channel. So I hope you enjoyed your class today. I hope to see you next class. Soon, first God, we're going to meet each other in classes. But now I invite you to stay home. First, remember, stay home. Keep cleaning your hands every time you can. Don't touch your face with dirty hands. Participate in all your classes, especially in your English class. Remember, I'm Mrs. Alfaro, and I'm going to see you in the next class. This is all for today. Thank you. Bye. See ya.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Katia Medina, and I'm gonna be the teacher today. We're gonna be working with 11th grade. And today we're gonna talk about combining sentences, a little bit about technology. Well, you'll see. Let's start with a video, which is pretty interesting because it talks about the past and the future regarding technology. So pay attention to it. Wow, isn't that amazing how long we have come? We have, been able to overcome so many things, and future, which now it's fast, right? Everything changes so fast. What was future suddenly is past. And look at, I remember using those typewriters. My finger used to get stuck. And now we have the computers and who knows what else. So let's start with the learning objective for this class. So the idea of this class is to be able to express ideas and opinions about technology, and we will also learn to combine sentences to make fluent conversations, because sometimes when we are learning English, we talk in sentences. So we say one sentence, another sentence, another sentence. And the idea is to combine those sentences and be able to be fluent, a bit more fluent. And how do we do this? Well, there are some little words in the English language called relative pronouns. But I don't want you to think about relative pronouns. I don't want you to, oh, the teacher's going to talk about grammar. My God, again. No, 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 no. Think about combining sentences. We're going to combine sentences, okay? So let's take a look at this. We're going to watch a video. My friend Brad Pitt sent me this video, okay? You know he's my friend. He sent me this video, and I want you to watch it. He's always, you know, saying, hey, Katia, hey, I have a video. And I'm always like, Brad, please stop sending me those videos. I don't want to know where you are. And that, well, the thing is that he sent me this video, and I'm going to use it in the class, okay? So he's happy because he's always, you know, bothering me. So let's watch the video, and let's see if you can identify what we call the words that are used to combine sentences.
Who and that for people. That or which for objects. Relative clauses combine two phrases into one. Brad is an actor. He has a motorcycle. Brad, who is an actor, has a motorcycle. The motorcycle is red. It cost $10,000. The motorcycle, which is red, cost $10,000.
Okay, so you already saw Brad. He's going to be happy that I showed his video. So the words are called relative clauses. Relative clauses are sentences that start with those small words like which, that, and who. There are other relative clauses, but we're not going to look at those today, okay? We're just going to look at these three. So let's take a look at them. Okay, so we have who and that for people. Who and that for people. So when you want to combine two sentences that you're talking about a person, you can use who or you can use that. Okay? And then we also use that for things and which for things. Look at that. Who and that for people, that and which for things. Okay? Good.
Relative clauses combine two phrases.
It says that relative clauses combine two phrases or two sentences into one. So let's take a look at an example. Okay? Let's look at an example I have here. For this example, we're going to use which and that. Do you remember when or what do we use which and that with? With things, okay? Which and that. So we're going to use which and that. Whoops. So I have the new Samsung smartphone is awesome. The new Samsung smartphone is awesome. Okay? And there's the Samsung. That's the one I want, okay? So if anybody wants to buy me a present for Christmas or my birthday is right now in July, that's the one I want, okay? So the new Samsung smartphone is awesome. So you get to school and you tell your friends, oh, did you see the new Samsung smartphone? But you also want to tell them that your mom got that phone, right? Look at that. My mother bought one. See? So you want to tell them that it's like you just want to tell them the news. So, oh, the new Samsung smartphone is great, it's awesome. My mother bought one, by the way. So you can join the two sentences, you can combine them. Sorry. Oops. You combine those two sentences into one. And you say, the new Samsung smartphone that my mother bought is awesome. The new Samsung smartphone that my mother bought is awesome. So it's not only awesome, but now everybody knows that your mother has one. Okay, so, and then you can use, remember that we said that we use that, and we can also use which, remember? Okay, look at this. You can also say, the new Samsung smartphone, which my mother bought, is awesome. Okay, now, we have that, and we have which, because we are talking about the new Samsung smartphone, which is a thing, right? But what happens if we turn it around? Let's turn it around. Now we're going to use who and that, and we're going to use people. And listen, this is very important. I'm going to use the same words. I'm going to use the same mother and the same telephone, okay? Look at this. So, the woman is my mother, okay? The woman is my mother. So this is my mother again with the cell phone she bought. And she bought the new Samsung smartphone, okay? So, I want to tell everyone, oh my God, I want to tell everyone that the woman who bought the new Samsung smartphone is my mother, okay? So now I'm going to join these two sentences. I'm going to combine them. And I say, the woman. So now I don't start the sentence with the smartphone. I'm starting the sentence with the woman. That's why I'm not going to use which. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use who. Because now, the person, we're talking about the person who bought the phone, okay? So we have the woman who bought the new Samsung smartphone is my mother. So imagine you're at a store and somebody comes and says, oh my God, that woman got the new Samsung smartphone. You say, oh yeah, the woman is my mother. She's my mother. She bought the new phone. Okay, so you have everything, you combine everything into one sentence. And remember, what is the other word that we can use for people? Not only who, what is the other word? Do you remember? That. So look at the other example. The woman that bought the new Samsung smartphone is my mother. Okay, excellent. So we're gonna practice a bit more. Combining sentences, okay? We're gonna practice a bit more. And we're gonna practice with my friend Brad, because he just called me and said, thank you, Katia, for using my video. And I'm gonna, indulge him. I'm gonna use his video. So, look at this. First, I want you to take a look at this. Brad, actor. Brad, motorcycle. Let's make sentences. So Brad, actor, and then we have the verb to be. So how can we join that? How can we do a sentence with that? Brad, actor, and then we have the verb be. So we say, let's see.
Is an actor. He has a motor.
You see it? Let's look at it again.
Brad is an actor. He has a motorcycle.
Excellent. Brad. That is the answer. So we have Brad is an actor. Very important, the an, because when we have singular nouns, we have to use an a or an an or a d. Okay, so we have Brad is an actor. And what about for Brad motorcycle? Brad and the verb have. Excellent. Brad has a motorcycle. Very good. You remembered that when we have he, she, or it, you use has. The main verb is have, but when you have he, she, or it, you use has. Excellent. That's very good. So we did 2 sentences. Brad is an actor. Brad has a motorcycle. Now we're going to join the sentences. We're going to combine them. Okay? So it says, Brad is an actor. Brad has a motorcycle. Can you combine them? Try to do it at home. How would you combine them? Brad is an actor. Brad has a motorcycle. How would you combine them? Yes? Let's see. Let's see if what you said is correct. The video is going to tell you. Brad is an actor. He has a motorcycle.
Who is an actor?
Brad, who is an actor, has a motorcycle. And do you remember what we were working on when we were talking about the mother? That we used who because it started with the word, right? So because here we start with Brad, the little word that is going to join both sentences is going to be who. Okay? Excellent. So let's see. Did you get it? Yes. Excellent. Brad, who is an actor, has a motorcycle. Very good. Very good. We're going to have another sentence now. Now I want you to try to identify the 2 sentences that have to be combined, okay? First, remember, we are going to identify the sentences, and then we combine them, okay? Let's try to identify the sentences.
It cost $10,000.
Look at that. Let me do it again.
The motorcycle is red. It cost $10,000.
Let me give you a hint, an idea for you to do. So we have motorcycle, red, and then we have the verb be. Motorcycle, $10,000, and we have the verb cost. So let's listen to the video again. Can you identify the 2 sentences?
The motorcycle is red. It cost $10,000.
Okay. So, yes, that's it. The motorcycle is red. The motorcycle costs $10,000. Costs $10,000. Okay. Now we're going to combine those 2 sentences. Okay? The motorcycle is red. The motorcycle costs $10,000. Do you think we're going to use who, that, or which? What are we talking about? Are we talking about Brad now? Brad, he was there. Well, we're not talking about him. We're talking about his motorcycle. So he's not going to be the important thing right now. We're talking about his motorcycle. So if we're talking about a motorcycle, in this case, for things, we use which and that. Yes? Which and that. Excellent. So now let's combine. Look at the video.
The motorcycle is red. It cost $10,000. The motorcycle, which is red, cost $10,000.
So let's see what you answered. Yes, the motorcycle, which is red, costs $10,000. Can we use that instead of which? The motorcycle that is red, can we use it? Yes, because it can be used with things. The motorcycle that is red costs $10,000. Very good. you got it. Okay, so let's take a look once again to our video. And now I can tell you, it's called relative clauses. But you don't have to think about relative clauses. You can think about combining sentences.
Relative clauses combine two phrases into one. Brad is an actor. He has a motorcycle. Brad, who is an actor, has a motorcycle. The motorcycle is red. It cost $10,000. The motorcycle, which is red, cost $10,000.
Okay, very good. So, we have been using the relative clauses. Now, we are going to do a little game, as a game using relative clauses, and we're going to describe certain things that we use at home, or we use, or maybe it could be a person, or it could be a technology, or a device, okay? And the phrase is going to start something like a person who, or a device that, or a device which, or a technology that, or a technology which. So let's see if we get to understand the game. This is the game. I invented this game, okay? No, okay, we could say that I invented it, but teacher Elidenis, she's one of the ones who gave me the idea. Okay, so it says, a device which takes messages when you are not home. A device which takes messages when you're not home. Can your flat screen television take messages? No, right? The air conditioner? No. The remote control? So what's the answer? Yes, answering machine. The answering machine is a device which takes messages when you are not home. Or you can say, an answering machine is a device that takes messages when you are not home. Good. This is one of the simplest. There's another one that has a little bit, it's a bit more complicated, but don't worry. The idea is to learn a little bit more. Let's see. It says, a device which fires two small, and this fires is not fire with a match. Fire, but like when you throw something, fire, okay? So a device which fires two small darts that deliver a modulated current. So it's a device that you can point to someone and shoot two darts, and those darts have electricity, okay? So what do you think is that device? Yes, let's see. Oh, you didn't see that, okay? Oh my God, what's the matter? Ah, yeah, I remember what happened. Okay, so we have taser or stun gun. I read that the taser and the stun gun are not the same. The taser, I think you have to come very near to the person, but the stun gun has two things that just fly and then get the person. So the stun gun is a stun gun. This is something that people use to defend themselves, okay? It's not something you use to attack people. It's something you use to defend yourself. Okay, so how do we describe it? A stun gun is a device which fires two small barred darts that deliver a modulated current. Or we can change it. We put that here or which here. A device that fires two small barred darts which deliver a modulated current. So that's a stun gun. Okay, so we have a container that is used to boil water for tea. And you know, when I talk about tea, I'm not talking about the tea that we do here in Panama with a pot. I'm talking about the British people, you know, like it's tea time. And they have a special thing that they use to boil the water and to drink tea. What is the name? Let's do it by, you know, taking out the ones that are not. So, you know it's not an ice cube dispenser, right? Ice cube, you hear ice. Ice doesn't have anything to do with tea. Water cooler, you know the word water and you know the word cooler, right? Toaster, we use it for bread, right? So it's kettle, yes. It's kettle. So if you didn't know that, let me tell you, kettle is where the British people have their hot water and they pour it on a cup and they have tea, okay? Very good. So, oh, this is something very important. So we say the sentence, a kettle is a container that is used to boil water for tea. Yes? A kettle is a container that is used to boil water for tea. Okay. So we have a device that issues a signal in case of fire. So there is fire. A device that issues a signal, that gives a signal when there is a fire. Which one do you think it is? Very good. Smoke detector. So we say a smoke detector is a device that issues a signal in case of fire. Okay? And this is one of the last ones. We have technophile, technophobe, geek, and techie. But which one do you think is a person who fears, dislikes, or avoids new technology? Who do you think a person, which do you think is the person that doesn't like technology? Which would it be? Let's see. Oops. Yes, technophobe. Because we have the word phobe, of phobia, when you're scared of something, okay? So you have to learn to look at the words and try to identify, okay? Wireless technology that uses UHF radio waves to exchange data between devices over a short distance. Okay? Wireless technology. This is a technology. It uses UHF radio waves to exchange data. So you send one data and receive data between devices over short distances. It can't be long distance. Short distance. What would that be? Yeah, Bluetooth. So we could say Bluetooth is a wireless technology that uses UHF radio waves to exchange data between devices over short distances. Okay? Now we have an appliance. Now we have appliance. Appliance are things that we use at home, okay? An appliance which is placed horizontally, and uses low temperatures to prevent certain food to spoil, okay, or from spoiling. Which do you think, if you don't want something to spoil, where do you put it? Where do you put the food? In the refrigerator, right? So, but in this case, we don't have a refrigerator, we have a chest freezer. And they call it chest freezer because it's horizontal, okay? It's not vertical like the ones we open like this. It's a chest freezer, okay? So a device which sends letters or any paper through a phone line. We take a paper. We want to send, okay, let me see the letter. Of course, this device is not much use right now, because right now you take the cell phone, you take a picture, and that's it. But before, we used to have this device. If you needed to send a letter somewhere, you sent it through this device. And this device is called a fax machine. But now we have applications in the cell phone that are faxes. And you can scan anything and send it with your cell phone. Okay? Okay, so we have some homework. This is your homework. You have to be able, or I want you to look up these words and describe them. But remember, I want you to use who, that, or which. In this case, we won't have to use who, because there are not people there, only things. We have smartphone. We have thumb drive, iPad or tablet. And look at this one, TikTok. Oh, that is the hottest application right now. Huh? How would you describe it? TikTok. How would you describe YouTube? How would you describe Instagram? Okay, remember, you have to describe them, but combine the sentences using one of the relative pronouns, who, that, or which. I could help you. I can help you a little bit. So we could say that a smartphone is a device, right? A thumb drive is also a device. An iPad or a tablet is a device. And what can we say about TikTok? TikTok is an application, right? An application that, or an application which. YouTube is also an application which. Yes? And Instagram, an application which. So the idea for next class is to describe each of these things, each of these devices, each of these applications using the relative clauses and trying to combine sentences so you have a longer sentence, a more fluent conversation when you're talking about devices or anything else. Okay? So this is all for today. I hope you do your homework because I'm looking forward to discussing all these activities with you for next class. Remember who for people, that which for things, okay? Remember that we have a lot of applications, a lot of devices nowadays, and for next classes, we will be talking about the applications that you use for school and for social media. Most of you use a lot of applications for social media, maybe not so much for school, but there are a lot of applications which are very good for school and you should look into them. And maybe we will be talking about them next class. So remember your homework, stay safe, stay at home, and be careful and take care of yourselves. I'll see you next week. And this is Katia Medina with 11th grade. See you next week. Bye.
Si eres de media, esto es para ti. Porque me educa. Presenta Conéctate con la Estrella.
Hello, it's me again, Katia Medina, your teacher. This time, we're going to be working with 11th grade. Sorry, 12th grade. 12th grade. Okay? So let's take a look at the objectives we have for this class. Okay? By the way, that's supposed to be me. Okay? So we have, at the end of the lesson, you will be able to express job preferences for your future in a written or oral form. Okay, so that's the idea for this class. Another one is you will be able to recognize many types of occupations and describe them. And finally, and this is very important, you will be able to review a story orally looking at cue questions. We're going to see a little bit more of that after this. So, warning. Why am I warning you? We are going to have challenges in this class. So you have to be prepared, okay? Because we're going to have challenges. And I'm going to do the challenges with you. Another thing, warning. You are going to see some videos and you're going to think, oh, those videos are for kids. But you know what? Be careful, because you might think they're easy, but we are going to have a lot of information today, and that's where 12th grade has to show that they are the ones that know more than everybody, okay? So let's start with this video. It's about occupations.
Welcome to Kids Pages. Improve your vocabulary and learn new words about jobs and occupations. Actor. An actor acts in a play. Artist. An artist makes art. Astronaut. An astronaut explores space. Bus driver. A bus driver drives buses. Taxi driver. A taxi driver drives a taxi. Businessman. A businessman is good at dealing with business. Carpenter. A carpenter makes things from wood. Cashier. A cashier takes in or gives out money. Coach. A coach trains a sports team. Computer programmer. A computer programmer creates computer programs.
So, what did you think of it? Now, those were only 10 jobs. We have a lot of jobs in the world, but these are just the first 10. Now, we're going to practice the pronunciation, okay? So, let's see. We have actor, actor. We have artist. Now, it's very important, this word artist, because people sometimes mix up. When they say artist, they think that artist is artista, like we call them here in Panama. But no, an artist is a person who makes art, who makes a painting, or maybe who draws, or maybe sculptures, who makes sculptures. So it's not the same thing as artista in Panama or in the world. Artista is performer, is a person who sings or plays an instrument. So that's very important to know. Artist, astronaut, astronaut, bus driver, taxi driver, businessman, carpenter, cashier, coach, computer programmer. Now we are going to have a little practice, a little quiz, okay? Let's see. I am going to read the description, and you at home try to identify what I'm talking about, okay? So let's start. This person drives a taxi. What would be the name of that job? This person drives a taxi. What do you say? Yes, taxi driver. Very good, taxi driver. Okay, let's look at another one. This person makes things from wood. What is the name of the person that makes things from wood? Yes, very good. Carpenter. Excellent. This person, we just talked about it. This person makes art, and it's an artist. Yes. This person trains a sports team. What do you call a person that is a trainer in the sports team? The coach. Very good. This person creates computer software. What do you call that person? A computer programmer. Very good. Now, those are 5 of the job occupations we already saw. Now let's take a look at the others that we saw. We have this first one. This is what? The bus driver, the cashier, astronaut. We have the businessman, right? And we have the person, actor. Very good. So let's see, we already saw 10. We're going to see 10 more, okay? We have another video coming, 10 more jobs or occupations. So pay attention.
Prepares and cooks food. Baker. A baker makes bread and cakes. Waiter. A waiter serves people food and drink. Doctor. A doctor looks after people's health. Nurse. A nurse takes care of sick people. Electrician. An electrician repairs electrical equipment. Plumber. A plumber repairs water systems or pipes. Engineer. An engineer designs and builds machines, systems, or structures. Road worker. A road worker helps build and repair roads. Gardener. A gardener takes care of the plants in the garden.
Good. 10 more. So you see, it's a video for kids, but now you have 20 jobs and occupations. Not only 10, and we're going to see more. Okay, let's practice these 10 that we already saw, okay? We have chef, baker, waiter, doctor. We're going to be talking about doctors in a few minutes. Nurse, electrician. Oops. Uh-oh. Very good. Plumber. This word, it's important. The B is silent. It's not plumber, it's plumber, okay? The B is silent, okay? Okay, we have engineer, road worker, and gardener. Good. So, another practice. I'm going to once again describe the job, and you have to tell me which job it is, okay? So, this person serves food and drinks with a tray, goes and serves to the tables. What's the name of the job? Waiter. Very good. This person helps build and repair roads. Road worker. This person takes care of sick people. Nurse. This person repairs water systems or pipes. Plumber. Remember, the B is silent. Plumber. This person also takes care, looks after sick people. A doctor. Very important. Remember, I'm going to do something with we're going to talk about doctors, okay? So we have 5 more jobs that we already mentioned. The gardener. We have the chef. He's preparing a pizza. We have the plumber. We have the baker. And we have the engineer. Excellent. So, speaking of doctors and nurses, we're going to listen to a story, and you have to pay attention because we're going to have a challenge, okay? We're going to have a challenge, and you have to be ready to participate in the challenge, okay? There's a music there. Ahí tenía que salir una música. Okay, so this is a challenge. Pay attention. We are going to listen to a story, okay? The story is separated in 4 parts. It's divided in 4 parts. After each part, we will have a Q&A. That means questions, okay? Questions and answers. And we will discuss the questions and answers for each part. So, but we have one part, second part. After the second part, we will have the first challenge. Okay? What is the challenge? We are going to put all the questions on the screen. All the questions right there. And you have to be able to answer the questions. Pay attention. You have to try to answer the questions without looking at the reading, and try to answer them with the words or phrases that you remember, okay? Only with the words and phrases that you remember. That is the challenge. I am going to do the challenge with you. So are you ready? Good. Pay attention. So this story takes place in United Kingdom. This is United Kingdom. You see, a lot of land. Scotland, England, Wales, Northern Ireland, that's United Kingdom. A lot of land, okay? This is the place. The person, the main character is this young man here. Well, maybe he's not so young. Mr. Boris Johnson. He's the Prime Minister of the UK. Now you think, Prime Minister, is he the president? No, he's not the president, but I have some of the important things that he does in the UK. So he provides direction for the government. He's like a leader, political leader. He makes the appointments. He answers the questions at the House of Commons. He communicates like the spokesman for the government. So he communicates the government's message, and he represents the country in international affairs. So imagine how important is Mr. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the UK. So he is the main character here. Now,
UK leader thanks nurses for saving his life. This is breakingnewsenglish.com. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Boris Johnson, has thanked his country's National Health Service for saving his life. Mr. Johnson, 55, tested positive for COVID-19 on March the 27th. He self-isolated in his apartment in Downing Street, London, and continued to lead the country and its response to the coronavirus pandemic.
Sorry, eso sigue.
However, his symptoms persisted and his condition took a turn for the worse. On April the 5th, he was admitted to a London hospital for tests. A day later, he was moved to the hospital's intensive care unit as his condition worsened. Downing Street said this was a precautionary move. He remained conscious and was able to breathe without needing a ventilator. Mr. Johnson said the care he received from nurses, doctors, and other carers was exemplary. He said, "I can't thank them enough. I owe them my life." He is now out of intensive care and is on a recovery ward in the hospital. Downing Street said he was making very good progress and had been doing Sudoku puzzles and watching films in his hospital bed. His biographer, Andrew Gimson, said, "Boris never used to believe in illness. He neither admitted to sickness himself. He believed he was strong enough to keep going regardless of any symptoms from which he might be suffering. His strong inclination was to overwork, not to put his feet up. In the light of his experiences, one hopes he will change his outlook." This is Timothy reporting from Japan.
Okay, so that's the first time we listen to the story. I know a lot of you might be like, I didn't understand the story. That's okay, because now we're going to look at the story step by step. Remember I told you that I separated the story in 4 parts, okay? So we're going to talk about each part and describe certain words for you to have a better understanding. And then we're going to listen to the story again, okay? So don't worry, stay put, but you have to pay attention, okay? Good. So, the first thing they say about Mr. Boris Johnson is that he tested positive for COVID-19. What do you think is the meaning to test positive? Is it good or bad? When you test positive for an illness, it's not good. It's bad, okay? And he tested positive, okay? The next thing he did was he self-isolated in his apartment, okay? What does self-isolated? He isolated in his apartment means that he was with a lot of people, that he called everybody, hey, come to my apartment. No, he remained alone in his apartment and he decided to do it. So it's he self-isolated in his apartment. It's very interesting. I include the phrase Downing Street because in the story, we will be listening to the word Downing Street many times. And they're going to say, Downing Street says, Downing Street issued a message. What is Downing Street? So, for starters, Downing Street it's a street in central London where all the houses from the most important politicians are. But when they say that Downing Street said, that means that is the message from the government, okay? So when you hear that they say Downing Street says, it's not that they went to ask the street. No, it's the politicians that are there say the message, okay? Good. So he continued to lead the country. Did he decide, when he got sick, oh, no, I'm not going to do anything because I'm sick. No, he continued to lead the country in its response to the coronavirus pandemic. So even though he was sick, even though he was isolated in his apartment, he continued to work from home, okay? Very important, those words. Downing Street, continued to lead, okay?
UK leader.
Let's listen to the story
for
again.
Saving his life. This is breakingnewsenglish.com. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Boris Johnson, has thanked his country's National Health Service for saving his life. Mr. Johnson, 55, tested positive for COVID-19 on March the 27th. He self-isolated in his apartment in Downing Street, London, and continued to lead the country and its response to the coronavirus pandemic.
Excellent. So now we're going to the questions. And these are the questions that are coming in the challenge. So pay attention. We have 3 questions here. Who is Boris Johnson? Who is he thanking? And why is he thanking them? Okay? So Boris Johnson is the Prime Minister of the UK, or United Kingdom. Who is he thanking? He is thanking his country's National Health Service. You can also say NHS, National Health Service. Why is he thanking them? He is thanking them for saving his life. Good. Remember, the ministry, Prime Minister of the UK, National Health Service, saving his life. Those are important phrases. 3 more questions. What happened to Mr. Johnson? What did he do at first when he got sick? And did he continue leading the country? Yes or no? Okay? So what happened to him? Mr. Johnson tested positive for COVID-19. Remember that phrase, tested positive for COVID-19. Okay? What did he do? He self-isolated in his apartment in Downing Street. So that's self-isolated. Don't forget that word. And did he continue leading the country? Yes, he did. Very good. Now, we're going to go to the second paragraph, audio again, okay? We're going to go to the, and remember the challenge. Those are the questions for the challenge, okay? So, we have, his symptoms persisted. When you say that your symptoms persist, did they stop? No, they continued, right? That's the word persisted. And look at this. His condition took a turn for the worse. Took a turn for the worse. It means that they took a turn, they switched. But did they switch to be better? No. They switched and that they got worse. Do you know that worse is like, and this is not grammatically correct, but more than bad, okay? So worse is more than bad. So took a turn for the worse. And then he was admitted to a London hospital. He was admitted to a London hospital for tests. So when you are admitted at a hospital, are you leaving? Are you going home? No. When you're admitted at a hospital, it means that you're going into the hospital. And he was moved to the intensive care unit. When you go to the intensive care unit, is it because you're getting better? No, right? It's because you're getting worse. Okay? Some people use, instead of saying intensive care unit, they say ICU. Now, Downing Street said this was a precautionary move. Precautionary move. Why do you think they talk about precautionary move? It comes from precaution. Do you think that is because they're sure that nothing is going to happen? No, they're not sure. That's why they have to be very cautious. So it's a precautionary move. That's why they moved him to the ICU. He remained conscious. Is he asleep? No. He remained conscious means that he was aware of everything that was happening around. And, very important, he breathed without needing a ventilator. That is something that's great. When somebody who has coronavirus can be able to breathe without needing a ventilator, that's a good sign, okay? So he didn't use a ventilator, okay?
However,
let's
his
listen to the second part.
And his condition took a turn for the worse. On April the 5th, he was admitted to a London hospital for tests. A day later, he was moved to the hospital's intensive care unit as his condition worsened. Downing Street said this was a precautionary move. He remained conscious and was able to breathe without needing a ventilator.
Get it? Good. So, we are going to answer some questions, and now, after the questions, we have the first challenge. So, be ready. Okay. After a while, remember that in the first part when we read, he was in his apartment. Yes? That was the last thing we heard. Now, after being in his apartment for a while, what happened to his condition? Okay? And because of this, what happened on April 5th? And after April 5th, a day later, what happened? Okay, let's see. So, after being in isolation in his apartment, his condition took a turn for the worse. Remember, took a turn for the worse. That means it got, and remember, this is not grammatically correct, more than bad. Okay? So, what happened on April 5th? He was admitted to a London hospital for tests. He was admitted. It means that he went into the hospital. He was admitted to a London hospital for tests. And a day after, what happened a day later? A day later, he was moved to the hospital's ICU. Do you remember what's the meaning of ICU? Intensive Care Unit. Okay. 3 more questions. Why was he moved to the ICU? Why was he moved? What statement was issued by Downing Street about this? You see the word issued. That is a very redundant word, okay? It's like, what did Downing Street say about this, okay? So what statement was issued by Downing Street about this? And describe Boris's condition while in the ICU. What was his condition? Let's take a look at the answers. So, he was moved to the ICU, to the intensive care unit, because his condition worsened. The statement that Downing Street had for people, it was that moving him to the ICU was a precautionary move. So Downing Street said it was a precautionary move. And Boris's condition in the ICU is that he remained conscious and he was able to breathe without needing a ventilator. Okay? Good. Now, we have the challenge. Are you ready? I'm ready, I think. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna put the slide, and the slide is gonna have the questions pop up. And I will try to answer the questions with whatever I remember about the story, okay? I haven't practiced this. Don't think I learned it at home. I'm doing this with you, okay? Are you ready? Okay. Good. Okay, Boris Johnson is the Prime Minister of the UK. He is thanking the NHS, National Health System. He's thanking them because they saved his life. He tested positive for COVID-19. He self-isolated in his apartment in Downing Street, but he continued to lead the country in its response to the coronavirus pandemic. Let's see. Okay, after a while, his condition worsened, so on April 5th, he had to be admitted to the hospital. Very important, admitted. So a day later, he was moved to the intensive care unit, the ICU. He was moved there because his condition took a turn for the worse. Downing Street said it was a precautionary move. And Boris' condition while in the ICU, he was conscient, and he remained conscient, and what's the other word? He remained conscient, and he did not use a ventilator. He was breathing without needing a ventilator. Oh my God, I did it! And I didn't read the questions, and I didn't have any answers. Look at me, I don't have any answers, and I did it. Yes. Okay, that's for me. I don't know you at home. Did you do it? Okay, if you did it, this is for you too. Excellent. So let's take a look at the third paragraph. When they talk about, he talks about doctors, he talks about nurses, and he talks about other cares. Who are the other cares in the hospital, if not the doctors and the nurses? You know, the nurses have assistants, and there are the people who clean in the hospital, and the people who give you your medicine, and so many other people. That's why he included them. He said doctors, nurses, and other cares, okay? He talked about exemplary. The care he got from the hospital people was exemplary. It was the best. And he said that he can't thank them enough. Can't thank them enough. It says, do you think that when he says that he can't thank them enough, that he doesn't want to thank them? No. He feels that every word that he has in his mind are not enough to thank all the people who helped him. Okay? He even said, I owe them my life. I owe them. Imagine, owe. Owe means that you have to pay someone something that they gave you. Okay? They gave you money, so you owe them money. But how do you pay for your life? How do you pay? If you owe someone your life, how do you pay it? There is no money in the world to pay for a life, right? So he was then sent to the recovery ward. Do you think you go to the recovery ward when you are not very good, or maybe when you're like a little better? Of course. So he was sent to the recovery ward because he was a little better. And Downing Street said he was making progress. So when you make progress, do you go backwards or you go, just to the front? Yes, making progress is going ahead. He was making progress. He was advancing. He was going forward.
Mr. Johnson said,
let's take a look at the reading, part 3.
Doctors and other carers was exemplary. He said, I can't thank them enough. I owe them my life. He is now out of intensive care and is on a recovery ward in the hospital. Downing Street said he was making very good progress and had been doing Sudoku puzzles and watching films in his hospital bed.
Okay, so let's take a look at some questions. So the first question, how did Mr. Johnson describe the care he had received at the hospital from everybody? How did he describe it? And he described it And then he said some other phrases about the care he got. So let's see if you can remember. He said that the care was exemplary. Remember that word? Exemplary, okay? And he also said that he couldn't thank them enough. He couldn't thank them enough. And he owed them his life. He owed all the people in the hospital his life, okay? So where was Mr. Johnson moved after the ICU? After he left the ICU, where was he moved? What was Downing Street's statement at this moment? And what were Mr. Johnson's activity while in the recovery ward? So Mr. Johnson was moved to the recovery ward after leaving the ICU. So he was getting better, right? And Downing Street said that he was making progress, so he was getting better. And what activities did Mr. Johnson do while in the recovery ward? I'm telling you something. These are not the activities that he usually does, okay? He was doing Sudoku puzzles and watching films in his bed. So he was resting, yes. Now we have paragraph number 4, the last paragraph, okay? So now the person who's going to talk is the biographer. And it's interesting because all these people, because they are very important, they have someone who writes about them and who knows them. So they are like, I guess they write books about them after the people are not in office. So his biographer, because it's his biographer, Andrew Gimson, is the person who is in charge of, I guess, writing his story, because when you talk about biography, it's a story of life, right? So Boris said that Mr. Johnson didn't believe in illness. So do you think he's always thinking like, I'm gonna get sick? No, he didn't believe in illness. Another thing the biographer said is that what he believed, Mr. Johnson, is that he was strong enough. So he didn't think he was weak. He thought that he was strong enough and he would keep on going and working regardless of symptoms. What is the meaning of regardless? Does regardless mean that he was worried about the symptoms? No, he didn't care about the symptoms. He never thought that he could get sick, okay? He was always thinking that he was strong enough. Good. So what is another thing that the biographer said about Mr. Johnson? He had a strong inclination. When you say the strong inclination, when you have a strong inclination for something, do you do it sometimes or do you do it a lot because you want to do it? Yes, strong inclination, something that you want to do, okay? And his strong inclination was to overwork. So you have work and you have overwork. So if you work, this is where you work, and you have overwork, it means that you work more than you should. So his strong inclination was to work more than he should. And the biographer says he didn't like to put his feet up. What is the meaning of put your feet up? You know, when you go on vacation and you sit on those chairs in the beach and you put your feet up. You're relaxed. That is the meaning to put the feet up. And when somebody says, oh, I need to put my feet up, I want to relax, I want to, chill. It doesn't mean that they're going to put their feet up, but it means that they have to relax or they want to relax. But in this case, Mr. Johnson didn't like to put his feet up. That means that he didn't like to rest. So, change his outlook. So the biographer says that he wishes that after this, Mr. Boris changes his outlook. Outlook. Does that mean the way he looks outside? No. Outlook is the way he thinks or he feels about things. And he wishes that after all this, he changes his outlook. Now, let's listen to the reading for this last time.
Andrew Gimson said, Boris never used to believe in illness. He neither admitted to sickness himself. He believed he was strong enough to keep going regardless of any symptoms from which he might be suffering. His strong inclination was to overwork, not to put his feet up. In the light of his experiences, one hopes he will change his outlook. This is Timothy reporting from Japan.
Okay, let's take a look at some questions. We are almost done, almost done. Now, these questions are a little bit more difficult. So, who is Andrew Gimson? Do you remember him? We were talking about him. Who is Andrew Gimson? What did he say about Mr. Johnson and illness? What was Mr. Johnson's thoughts in his relationship with illness? And how did he describe Mr. Johnson's beliefs about himself, about Mr. Johnson? Okay, let's take a look at the answers. So, Andrew Gimson is Mr. Johnson's biographer, okay? What did he say? He said that Mr. Johnson never used to believe in illness, and he neither admitted to sickness. He never admitted that he was sick. Mr. Johnson believed that he was strong enough to keep going regardless of any symptom he might be suffering. Okay? 2 more questions. What were Mr. Johnson's inclinations regarding work? His inclinations regarding work. What does Mr. Gimson hope Mr. Johnson changes in the light of the recent events? So his strong inclination was to overwork and not to put his feet up. Remember, put your feet up, like vacations. And Mr. Gibson, what does he hope Mr. Johnson changes? He hopes Mr. Johnson changes his outlook about rest, about work. I don't know. He just said he changes his outlook. Okay? Last challenge. Okay, last challenge. Okay, so are you ready? Remember that the questions are going to be popping up and we're going to be answering as they pop up, okay? Good. Okay. He described the care as exemplary. He said that he owed them his life and he couldn't thank them enough. He was moved to the recovery ward. Downing Street said that he was making progress. Mr. Johnson did Sudoku and he watched films from his bed. Andrew Gimson is Mr. Johnson's biographer. He said that Mr. Johnson didn't believe with sickness. He didn't believe about sickness. How did he describe Mr. Johnson? Andrew Gibson said that Mr. Johnson believed that he was strong enough. He was strong enough. And his inclinations regarding work his inclination was to overwork. And he hopes that Mr. Johnson changes his outlook regarding maybe work, maybe rest. So this time, maybe I didn't quite finish the challenge like I should, but I think it was pretty good. I think it was pretty good. Okay, still, I'm the best. And you are too, if you got to do them at home. You are too, okay? Great. So, this is a review. True or false? So, Mr. Johnson contracted COVID-19 in early April. Yes or no? True or false? False. He contracted it in March, late March. Did Mr. Johnson stop leading the coronavirus task force immediately? That is false. He continued to lead the task force from his apartment. Number 3, Mr. Johnson was taken to an intensive care unit a day after he had tests. That is true, because he was taken into the hospital and a day after he was taken to the intensive care. Mr. Johnson spent a day on the ventilator. Never. He never used a ventilator. That's false. Okay? Let's see. Mr. Johnson said the care he received from nurses was exemplary. That's the word, exemplary, and it's true. The next one, Mr. Johnson said he owes his life to the National Health Service, and that is true. A biographer, and then it's not a biographer, it's his biographer, said that Mr. Johnson didn't used to believe in illness, and that is true. He didn't think he could get sick. And the last one, a biographer said Mr. Johnson liked to put his feet up. Do you think he liked vacationing? No, he didn't like it. He liked to overwork. Okay, so this is the homework that we have for next class. We have write a short paragraph about some of these questions. What would you like to be in the future? Remember we talked about the jobs and occupations? Well, afterwards we will have some more jobs and occupations. So you tell me about what you would like to be in the future and why. And tell me about the jobs that you think are gonna be like more important or maybe more gonna be trending now after all this lockdown and after this pandemic. And why, okay? So this is the homework for next class. Thank you for being here. I hope you did the challenge with me. I know it was a little bit difficult, but I'm pretty sure that you can do it. And if you did do it and you were able to rewind and do it, please do it, because it's like practicing, remembering things, and it helps with other activities, not only with English, but with social studies, science, or any other subject. This way of working to remember information is very good. So I hope you try it, and see you next time.
Aprende en casa a través de la televisión. Porque me educa presentó Conéctate con la Estrella.
El libro de Ana. Campaña Protégeme. Hola, soy Ana, tengo 9 años y quiero contarte los consejos que me dieron mi mamá y mi papá sobre cómo debo cuidarme y buscar ayuda si la necesito. Mi protección. Mamá dice que yo debo contar cualquier cosa que me pase, que me haga sentir mal, no me guste o me dé miedo, ya sea en la casa, en la escuela, la cancha de juego, la iglesia, el parque y en otro lugar. Cualquier persona que quiera tocar mis partes privadas, tocar cualquier parte de mi cuerpo, hacerme caricias malas, me pide guardar secretos feos o me amenace de hacerme daño a mí o a mi familia, debe estar en la cárcel. Por eso yo no debo tener vergüenza y debo contarlo rápido para que nadie me haga daño. Pues mi papá y mi mamá, mi directora, mis maestros, el personal de salud, la policía, el fiscal y la jueza debe actuar rápido si sabe o sospechan que alguien quiere hacerme daño o me lo ha hecho. Mi mamá y mi papá dicen que yo soy su tesoro, por eso ellos me protegen contra todo.
Hola, soy Erika Podes, científica panameña en ANASA. Conjuntamente con la Embajada de los Estados Unidos, deseamos invitarlos al programa interactivo Mentes Curiosas, donde tendremos un espacio de mucha información junto a otros colegas de la NASA.
Mentes Curiosas en la NASA, los martes y jueves a las 2 de la tarde. Una innovación de CERTV y la Embajada de Estados Unidos.
No se lo pierdan.
Natá de los Caballeros, una ciudad unida por su historia, cultura y desarrollo.
Había un pueblo indígena desde por lo menos 700 después de Cristo.
CERTV te invita a descubrir lo que nos enseñan los documentos históricos y las excavaciones arqueológicas.
Esa cultura y ese sentimiento nacionalista de los panameños eran los franceses.
Este domingo 24 de mayo, desde las 7 de la noche, te presentamos un conversatorio donde expertos hablarán sobre el Natá prehispánico.
Muchísima gente con muchísimos cultivos.
100 hombres se quedaron comiendo durante 4 meses.
Natá de los Caballeros, camino a los 500 años de su fundación. Esta es otra innovación CERTV.
Ahora es el turno para los pelados más grandes de la casa. Sí, como lo escuchaste, a partir de este lunes, las clases por televisión son para los de premedia. Así que conéctate, tú tienes el control en tus manos para aprender y no quedarte sin saber. Desde las 11 de la mañana, los lunes, tus clases serán de español, martes de matemáticas, miércoles de geografía, historia y cívica, jueves de ciencias naturales y los viernes de inglés. Aprende desde casa por TV Max. Si te perdiste una clase, tranquilo, la puedes volver a ver por Osanavisión a las 4 de la tarde. La cosa no termina ahí, porque faltan los de media. Sí, escuchaste bien. De 4 a 6 de la tarde los lunes también serán de español. Los martes de matemáticas, miércoles de geografía e historia, jueves de física, química y biología y los viernes de inglés. Aprende desde casa por CERTV. Si eres de media y te perdiste una clase, tranquilo, la puedes volver a ver por Viva Canal 33 a las 6 de la tarde. Si eres de media, conéctate con la Estrella. Es la nueva manera de aprender desde casa y nosotros te la llevamos. Conéctate con la Estrella llega a tu hogar gracias a CERTV, RPC, TV Max, Osanavisión, FETV, Viva, Oye TV, Cable Onda, Medcom Go y TVN Paz.
Hola a todos y bueno, hoy un día más les quería comentar el siguiente paso de los que hemos estado dando en los últimos días. Y el paso de hoy es, una vez que hiciste la aceptación radical y una vez que observaste cuáles eran esas emociones y sensaciones que tenías producidas ya sea por la crisis o incluso por la aceptación, ahora el siguiente paso es aceptar esas emociones y abrirles un espacio en tu vida sin dejar que te controlen. La aceptación te puede traer un tipo de emoción y la crisis en sí otro tipo de emoción, ¿ok? Generalmente, por ejemplo, para mí aceptar la crisis me trae tranquilidad, me trae calma, me trae un piso. No aceptarla me crea más caos. Entonces, por eso es que pueden tener dos cosas contradictorias, pero vas a trabajar con ambas, ¿ok? Lo muy importante en este momento es que aprendas a observarte, aprende a ser curioso contigo mismo, aprende a ver qué es lo que te hace estallar o lo que te hace emocional o lo que te hace salirte de tu riel, de tu centro, de tu balance. Entonces es muy importante que aprendamos en este momento, sobre todo, y en cualquier momento de crisis, a observarnos. ¿Cuál es esa emoción que tengo? Ya sea miedo, ansiedad, sentirme inseguro, incertidumbre, lo que sea que sientas, ¿ok? Vas a aceptarlo, porque si no lo aceptas es igual que no aceptar la crisis, ¿ok? Tienes que poder tener en este momento la capacidad de aceptar tu